My name is Christy Rigg, and I am the mother of a 7-year-old who's been diagnosed with a mental illness. When my daughter was 3, I first noticed signs that it might be mental illness. I could not find anyone who would take me seriously. I had a hard time going to doctors and asking for help because I was told it was a parenting issue. I went to parenting classes and I got a certificate that said that I passed all my parenting classes, and it couldn't be that. I finally just put my foot down and said, I know what it is. This is the doctor I need to see. Please get her tested.
Currently, I'm trying to find how to live with bipolar disorder and stay employed. I felt the most lost immediately after I was diagnosed when I was 25. Felt like my life was over. It felt like medications didn't work, and I really didn't know what I was gonna do. I thought I was gonna wind up divorced and homeless.
I am the loved one of a son who has had mental illness since, I think, day one. We thought he was a problem child, not a troubled child. And she asked us, she goes, it sounds like what you need is a support group. And my husband and I are looking at each other. Yeah, we don't need a support group. We need help.
Mike was 9 years old when we had to make the decision to have him hospitalized under the advice of his psychiatrist for his, at that time, undiagnosed condition. It puts you at a disconnect from the rest of society in general. Other parents just don't get it.
Mental illness is a very isolating illness. In the darkest times, when we were having the hardest times with her, it was hard to go out in public, it was hard to be social, it was hard to be around friends that didn't understand, and it's very isolating. We felt very lost during that time.
The family literally has turned their back on us. We're the only one that supports Jeff. It was really nice to have a group of people sitting around in a circle, and it was wonderful. It was the nicest thing. I don't think we have missed any support group meetings. I feel that's my family. I cannot wait to see them because I know that if nobody else in this world understands, they do. I look across the table and I can see it in their faces.
NAMI found me. NAMI found my family. After you get diagnosed with bipolar, they don't send you a manual in the mail for your family about how to deal with you. And NAMI was that manual for my family.
I found NAMI one day. I was Googling mental illness, and I noticed this organization called the National Alliance on Mental Illness. Not only did I find the support that I had been looking for elsewhere, I finally found a place where I could kind of just exhale and talk freely.
Shortly before we hospitalized my son, a coworker had sent me that article, I Am Adam Lanza's Mother. It was right after the Sandy Hook shootings. And I was reading in the comments, and one of the comments mentioned NAMI. I came to NAMI almost 3 years ago when I was probably as close to the end of my rope as I've ever been with my son.
I feel the most lost when he gets in trouble and I go and see him in jail. And he doesn't know why he's there. And it hurts because he doesn't know. He doesn't understand. Why did they put him in jail? Why is he there? There is no way to say, Jeff, you're annoying, and they don't like it.
I found a community of people who spoke the same language as me for the first time. People who understood why I don't go out in public with my children. Why my children aren't allowed to play together without looking at me like I'm weird. These people understood where I was coming from. I'd never experienced that before.
NAMI has made me feel confident again. NAMI is one of the few places where I go and it's not an act. I really do have talents that I can bring to the organization. I really have something that I can offer. And a lot of times in my daily life, I don't feel that way. I feel a lot of times like I'm a drag on society or on my family or on, just other people. If you're lost and you're dealing with mental illness, find other people who've done this before. There are a lot of shortcuts. And when you're first diagnosed, you feel like everything's a huge issue. I didn't get where I am by myself. I had a couple of guys who had lived with bipolar for a long time and taught me how to live with it. Taught me how to have a sense of humor about it, and taught me not to worry so much about it. That it's a thing of itself and you have to let it be.
I knew nothing about mental illness, and I'll tell you what, those classes opened up my eyes. They showed me all about mental illness that I did not even know existed. We started in September, and my husband goes hunting, so I went to the classes by myself, and they told us about the brain, they told us about the medication, they told us about all this stuff that I didn't even know. Oh my gosh, it was just like all this knowledge. And my husband would call me from Wyoming, and I would tell him, this is what I learned today. I learned all about the brain. He literally took a week off, came back to come to the class, and then went back hunting. Because he said, he goes, you're just so enthusiastic about it. When the 12 weeks was up, I didn't want it to end. I loved it. I wish there would have been more.
I remember the first day that I decided to use medication with my daughter, the first person I text was a friend through NAMI. I don't feel that I could have texted that information to other people without being judged, and so it's great to just be in an organization where everyone completely understands where you're coming from.
You can talk about what's going on, whatever god-awful thing has happened this week, and no one is going to judge you. They're going to listen empathetically. I found a second family.
NAMI has given me a place where I feel like I can do something. I can contribute.
It's, like I said, it's life-changing.